Lots of mixed weather today. Clouds in certain areas and then sunlight in others, like here. And what did I read today? How about this first one? Apparently, there's a study of sort on how they could potentially make drone flights more stable, I guess, being inspired by things like nature again. This one says, Bristol University and others unravel the stable flight of birds can dramatically improve drone performance. So what's going on here, huh? It says the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology and the University of Bristol reveals the surprisingly stable flight secrets of the Kestrel and may help future drone design and flight control strategies. Making drones safer and more stable in urban areas where turbulence and gusts from skyscrapers make them more feasible and more frequently available for luggage delivery, food delivery, and environmental monitoring. RMIT's Industrial Wind Tunnel Facility conducted this study was the first study to accurately measure the stability of the head of a bedside butterfly during hovering flights during hunting. It was found that the movement was less than 5 minutes. Dr. Abulghani Mohammed, principal investigator at RMIT, commented. So I guess a little bit of technicalities, in terms of the theory and how it works and all that. It says sturgeon bulls and other birds of prey can keep their heads and bodies extremely stationary during hunting. The special flight behavior is called wind hovering and can stay in places without flapping under appropriate wind conditions. A slight adjustment of the wings and tail shape provides amazing stability. With advances in camera and motion capture technology, the research team observed 2 Natkin Chowinbaos trained at Lee Valley Hawk and All Sanctuary in high resolution. For the first time, we tracked in detail the exact movements of birds with reflective markers and flight control technology during flight without flapping. I think the only time I've kind of seen stuff like this is when it's really windy on a regular day. It looks like the bird, for example, is just floating there. They can't go, for example, up or down. So maybe that's kind of the same thing I'm imagining anyways. It says the team is now aiming to further research by investigating birds under conditions of gusts and turbulence to learn more about stable flights and to make drones safer and more frequent. Initially focused on small drones, the team wants to simplify the data they collect so they can be applied to larger aircraft. I can imagine that would be a thing too again, like in the future. The more efficiency and stuff, the better overall. And it makes you think too, if they master this, there's already drones out there that look like animals, like birds, for example. Can you imagine using them for things like nature documentary and all that? It reminds me of all those videos where they actually use like a dummy robot. Things like, for example, they'll make a robot penguin or something like that, put it amongst the crowd they just don't know so you can see everything in its natural habitat. That'd be kind of neat, I think. Although with that said, still a lot of people using drones in war and stuff like that. This was actually around in a lot of places, like this one here saying, drone explodes close to Russian-occupied nuclear plant. Poland's Tusk weighs in on Nord Stream controversy. I think that was a while back too in regards to that. Did they ever figure out, for example, who did it and all that? It says Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk appeared to wade into the controversy over the 2022 sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline, urging an end to speculation over who is responsible for the attack. Germany would no longer grant new requests for aid to Ukraine as the government sought to rein in spending, the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung reported. Safety at the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine was deteriorating after a drone strike on Saturday, International Atomic Energy Agency monitors warned. On Saturday, a drone exploded close to essential cooling water sprinkler ponds about 100 meters from the only remaining 750 kilovolt line providing a power supply to the plant, IAEA monitors said in a statement. So the contrasting examples again, I guess, in terms of people using the tech, you could be using it for research, trying to make things better, or I guess like in this case, if that's true anyways, using it to create, I guess, war and all that. In terms of things like conflicts, this piece of news was going around here and generating a lot of controversy. It was kind of weird actually when I kind of looked into it. Apparently it dealt with someone getting arrested for making, like it says here, racially offensive social media content. So what exactly was this? Because you can read here at the release, they didn't seem to actually indicate what exactly the person said or did, but it says a Chilliwack, BC woman has been arrested over what police are describing as racially offensive content she shared via social media. Police say the woman was arrested on August 7th, but has since been released to appear in court at a later date, while prosecutors considered several possible recommended charges. police declined to share the suspect's name or the account she allegedly used to make the post. RCMP spokeswoman Corp. Carmen Kiner said the account on X, formerly known as Twitter, was brought to the attention of police by concerned citizens and members of the media. She said the woman was allegedly targeting members of the South Asian community, adding investigators learned of several examples but believe one person is responsible for the overall content. So yeah, that was kind of weird because they didn't actually show what exactly it is she did, and at the same time with the way this is worded, saying being arrested because the content is offensive, that's kind of the debate there where they're saying, can you actually arrest people even if what they say is completely, let's just say, inappropriate, unethical, for example? Would you be able to arrest them? So after doing some searching, apparently this is the person here, Canadian girl, and it says, racism is the cure. Mass deportation enthusiast. And you can see from the stuff that she's posting, it seemed like, for example, she was taking videos and stuff of, I guess you could say, visible minorities. Like this one says, even at the park, they separate themselves based on race. Like at first you'd be wondering, okay, well, what's that all about? That's not really, I guess, proof of anything, correct? But then you can see she had more posts. Like this one says, just had 2 jeetlings in sandals kicked out of the gym. Now it's all white in here. So that would make it a little bit more sketchy, right? And then there's this other one here. It makes you think even more. It says here what she wrote, allegedly anyways. I had the cutest white day the other day, working in a gated white community, and the kids were picking berries and driving their little car around, and a little blonde girl came up to me and said, "You're working hard today," and offered to sell me freezies she's selling to raise money for an animal charity. I ordered 2 for $3, and a little brunette came scooting up and delivered them, and I gave her $10, and about 5 minutes late, the blonde girl came back and was holding $5 and said, "We can't take that, it's too much." Said, "It's for the animals," and she said, "We have a lot raised for the animals," and insisted I take the $5 back. LOL, too cute. And then there was these other crazy videos. It seemed like she was in a supermarket. It's called Superstore here. And she made a post here saying, "Dear Muslims, I rubbed some pork all over your magic food." So she was taking, it seems like, I guess, packaged pork products and putting it in this certified halal section.
Canadian pork. Canadian chicken. Seafood. Certified halal. Not anymore, is it?
So I would think, like most people, okay, that's really weird, correct? You could say, for example, the person's racist and all that, which seems to be the case anyways, but at the same time, can you arrest them over this? That's kind of the debate in general. I mean, at this point, everything's on the table, in my opinion, in terms of what the heck is going on. It's just so weird, the situation. The only other wild theory I read was people were saying there was somebody of authority or whatever that was pushing or supporting the person to do this, to create, I guess, this conflict. I don't know if that's the case, but it's just weird for a person to be like this so openly nowadays. Usually if someone is racist, they'll do it in a more passive way. For example, trying to specifically harass someone, make them feel, for example, a lesser human being than everyone else. Like they do it really passively. They wouldn't be that blunt. So it makes you wonder what the heck is going on. right, see you guys later.